The following presentation may contain too many cat jokes. Viewer discretion is advised. This presentation is rated CJ, Cat Jokes. Parental guidance suggested.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
So, here's another Opa's Corner. So, let's get started. The son of a Saudi mongrel goes to study in Europe. One night, the phone rings at the house of his parents. His dad answers. "How's your life going, son?"
It's going well, Dad.
"Is something wrong? You don't sound happy."
No, Dad, everything's fine. Berlin is wonderful, the people are nice, and I really like it here.
"Son, tell me the truth. I know something's not right."
Well, Dad, to be honest, I'm a bit ashamed to drive to college in my pure gold Ferrari 599 GTB when all my teachers and fellow students travel by train.
"Son, why didn't you say so earlier? I will send you more funds this instant. Please stop embarrassing us and go and get yourself a train too." A woman takes her little boy to visit their dead relatives' gravestones at a cemetery. The little boy has never been to a cemetery before. The woman first takes her son to her grandmother Annie's gravestone. The initials under Annie's name say R.I.P. The little boy asks,
Mommy, what does R.I.P. stand for?
His mother replies, "It stands for rest in peace. That means we wish for Grandma Annie's spirit to find peace in the afterlife." Then they come across the gravestone of the woman's Uncle Joe. The little boy asks,
Mommy, what does R.I.H. stand for?
Pointing to the initials printed under Uncle Joe's name. "We really didn't like Uncle Joe." A 15-year-old Amish boy and his father visited the city for the very first time. They wandered around marveling at the different sights. Eventually, they entered a mall. They were amazed by almost everything they saw, but they were especially amazed at 2 shiny silver walls that could move apart and then slide back together. The boy asked,
What is it, Father?
The father, never having seen an elevator, responded, "Son, I have never seen anything like this in my life. I don't know what it is." While the boy and his father were watching with amazement, a fat old lady in a wheelchair rolled up to the moving walls and pressed a button. The walls opened and the lady passed between them into a small room. The walls closed, and the boy and his father watched as the small numbers above lit sequentially. They continued to watch until it reached the last number, and then the numbers began to light in reverse. Finally, the walls opened up again, and a gorgeous 24-year-old blonde woman steps out. The father, not taking his eyes off the young woman, said quietly to his son, "Junior, go get your mother." Sarah's parents are excited to meet her new boyfriend. This is the first time the 28-year-old has brought a man to meet her parents. Her mother slaved over a hot stove all day, while the father cleaned the house and cut the grass. They both wore their best clothes and waited for Sarah. At 8 p.m., they heard the doorbell ring. They opened the door, and Sarah is standing next to a huge man full of tattoos and a face that looks like it's been in a fight. He looks like he beats people for a living. After some hesitant hellos, the shocked parents take Sarah to the kitchen. "What the heck, Sarah? Why would you date a guy like that? He looks like a thug." "You've got him all wrong. He's an incredibly nice and charitable guy." "What makes you say that?" "Well, just this month, he spent 200 hours serving his community." A man comes running to the doctor, shouting and screaming in pain. "Doctor! Doctor! You've got to help me! I've been stung by a bee!" "Don't worry. I'll put some cream on it." "You'll never find that bee. He must be miles away by now." No, you don't understand. I'll put some cream on the place where you were stung." "Oh, that happened in the garden behind of my house." No. What part of your body did the bee sting you?" "Oh, my finger. The bee stung me on my finger and it really hurts." "Which one?" "How am I supposed to know? All the bees look the same to me." A big city lawyer was representing the railroad in a lawsuit filed by an old rancher. The rancher's prize bull was missing from the section through which the railroad passed. The rancher only wanted to be paid fair value of the bull. The case was scheduled to be tried before the Justice of the Peace in the back room of the general store. The attorney for the railroad cornered the rancher and tried to get him to settle out of court. The lawyer did his best-selling job, and finally the rancher agreed to take half of what he was asking. After the rancher had signed the release and took the check, the young lawyer couldn't resist gloating over his success. "You know, I hate to tell you this, but I put one over on you. I couldn't have won the case. The engineer was asleep, and the fireman was in the caboose when the train went through your ranch that morning. I didn't have one witness to put on the stand. I bluffed you." The old rancher replied, "Well, I'll tell you, young feller, I was a little worried about winning that case myself, because that bull came back home this morning." An 80-year-old lady was marrying for the 4th time. A newspaper reporter asked if she wouldn't mind talking about her first 3 husbands and what they did for a living. She smiled and said, "My first husband was a banker. Then I married a circus ringmaster. Next was a preacher. And now, in my 80s, a funeral director." When asked why the 4 men had such diverse careers, she explained, "I married 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go." And now for the funnies. Mom and Dad, meet my new boyfriend, Danny. Oh my God, he's a weed. Noah's Ark Complaints Department. You only brought 2 ants?
Sheriff, Ben Wiggins is riding into town, and he's wearing that same little chiffon number that he wore when he shot Jake Sutton. When cats inherit the earth. Let's put it to a vote. Explore, invent, experiment, and research? Or just keep napping? Nap, 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 nap. Crossing paths on their respective journeys of destiny, Johnny Appleseed and Irving Ragweed nod hello. '76th Annual Catty Awards. The award for most apathetic goes to Gus the Tabby, who couldn't be bothered to be here tonight. Final page of the medical boards. Bonus question, 50 points. What's the name of the thing that hangs down in the back of our throat? Snacks. Orioles. Mom, look. Double stuffed Orioles. And so, to take the fun out of clawing the furniture, I made everything out of scratching posts. Disgusting. It's just sort of a heavy huffing and puffing. This is the downside of having a closed-door meeting. Meow, meow. Scratch, 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 scratch. Beware of dog. That little mutt? What a joke. Talk about bark being worse than its bite. Dead birds and beyond. What's our return policy? He said his human didn't like it. I can't stay long. I'm homeschooling my grandparents on technology. Come on, Dad. We talked about this. Bat, bat, bat. Cow joyrides. And then she called me inconsiderate. Can you believe that? Bovine methane study grant. I know how to milk them, but how do I get their methane? Pull my hoof. This next song is about waking up your owner when it's time to eat. It's called Butt in Your Face. Folks, the main reason you're not getting a good picture is because you bought yourselves a microwave oven. I was going to check the weather app, but I assume it's windy out. Oh, the Places You'll Doze by Dr. Muse. You'll crash on the couch, you'll nap on the stairs, you'll conk out on cabinets, carpets, and chairs. You'll snooze near your human, all over the place, and sometimes you'll sleep right on top of their face. You must be new here. That's Miss Crutchfield. She's here to make sure nobody runs with scissors. When cats graduate. Okay now, I think we've had enough fun with our tassels. Let's settle down so we can begin. Yeah, I remember Jerry, good friend of mine. You know, I never understood a single word he said, but he always had some mighty fine wine. Bird potty training. That was better, dear, but let's try to make it onto the car next time. So she opens the front door and she's all in or out, in or out. Give me time to think, human. Yeah, I need at least 5 minutes. What's this? If I cancel an hour before my appointment, you charge me. Well, I just waited an hour past my appointment time in your waiting room. This is my bill. And over here we have the in-law apartment. Unattended children will be given an espresso and a free puppy. And that concludes an Opa's Corner for this week.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.